Making the headlines tonight. His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni urges married couples to establish a tradition of planting trees in parks. Prime Minister Hun Sen requests the Ministry of Education to extend students' first-term vacation in 2023 to allow them to participate and help celebrate the 32nd SEA Games. A motorcade carrying the body of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe arrived at his home in the Japanese capital following his assassination in Nara. And the Blood of Kindness is raising awareness about the importance of donating blood and held a blood drive at Aeon Mall earlier this month. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Darshana Gauchan. The King of Cambodia, His Majesty King Norodom Sihamoni, is urging married couples to establish a tradition of planting trees in parks organized by the Capital Provincial and Forestry Administration. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more details.
On the morning of Saturday, 9th of July, King Norodom Sihamoni gave a royal speech on the benefits of forests for humanity and the disadvantages that people face when they lose more trees. He said, the loss of all kinds of forests can lead to floods, greater winds, risk of lightning strikes, and droughts, which have made water reserves needed for humans and animals to dry up, leading to a loss of income, loss of wildlife, and fish resources of all kinds, which can cause desertification and deterioration of soil quality. The king also called on monks, local authorities, the private sector, and citizens across the country to plant as many trees as possible, including palm trees in pagodas, public places and resorts, roads, around canals, villages, and fields to provide shade for people and animals. He added that trees will also provide wood for construction, firewood, help to increase soil fertility, and create better land for agriculture, block wind force, absorb carbon dioxide, and reduce climate change. He said, we should especially pay attention together to creating a new idea for newlyweds to plant a tree as a souvenir in a wedding garden. A forest formed in this way by the Capital Provincial Forestry Administration for everyone in towns, districts, municipalities, communes, sangkats, villages. The King of Cambodia said he would like to dedicate this Plant Day ceremony to be in the heart of the nation and become a tradition of unity, planting all kinds of trees together, preserving, protecting, and developing precious forest wildlife resources to last forever. He stressed that planting trees is a green investment in nature that provides many benefits for all of humans, animals, and the planet as a whole. Lekanin, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has requested the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports to extend the 2023 first-term vacation until 19th May so that students can also participate and help celebrate the 32nd SEA Games that Cambodia will be hosting. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Speaking at a meeting at the ASEAN Para Sports Federation and the SEAGAF Council meeting on Monday morning, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that the 64 years Cambodia has failed to seize the opportunity to host a regional sports event. So as the host of the SEA Games in 2023, Cambodia has the ambition to welcome guests warmly so that they can have the best experience while in Cambodia. Therefore, the Prime Minister requested the Olympic Committee of Cambodia to be well prepared for this event, while stressing what the media and people must also participate to promoting the national image through actions such as keeping the environment clean, respecting traffic laws and showing friendliness to guests. While the SEA Games will be held on the 5th of May 2023, the Prime Minister has requested the Ministry of Education to extend the first-term vacation for students until the 29th of May so that students can also have time to volunteer and help out with several sports events and celebrations. The spokesman of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, Ruth Sovachar, told EAC News that the ministry is examining the possibility and will provide more information later. According to the official countdown that the SEA Games and the ASEAN Para Games, only 297 days are left until the Cambodia will host the Games in Phnom Penh in 2023. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has reaffirmed his continued support to the sustainability of the Voice of the Blind Association in Phnom Penh. The Prime Minister made this affirmation during his unannounced visit to the association on Monday morning. After opening the meeting of the ASEAN Para Sports Federation and the CGF Council meeting this morning at Soka Hotel in Phnom Penh, Prime Minister Hun Sen had a face-to-face meeting with 10 members of the Voice of the Blind Association, which has its office located directly in front of the hotel. While meeting with them, he inquired about the operation and sustainability of the association, especially around the opening of the Office of Massage Services for the Blind, in addition to some work related to the association's radio and television channels. The representatives of the 10 members, Mr. Saim Samnang, told the Prime Minister that in addition to the work the association already does, they learned about massage techniques and rented this office in Phnom Penh to add to what the Prime Minister and First Lady had provided them in the past, including salaries and rice. During the visit, Prime Minister Hun Sen provided 10 million real, about $2,500, and $1,000 additional to the association. The president of the Voice of the Blind Association, Mr. Saim Samnang, told EAC News that he was very excited that the Prime Minister had come to inspect the work of the association. He added that his association had just moved to Phnom Penh for 2 months to set up its headquarters after Battambang. According to Mr. Saim Samnang, his association was established in 2010 and received the support of Prime Minister Hun Sen since 2013, ensuring the sustainability of the association to the present day. The Voice of the Blind Association is located in 4 provinces and the capital city, which includes Phnom Penh, Battambang, Kampong Cham, Banti Minche, and Pursat. Prime Minister Hun Sen has paid his last respects to former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and wrote a message of condolence at the Embassy of Japan in Cambodia, following Shinzo Abe's death by assassination on Friday. The Prime Minister went to the Japanese embassy to pay his respects around 3 p.m. on Monday. In his written condolences addressed to the people of Japan, Prime Minister Hun Sen said, "On behalf of the royal government, the people of Cambodia, and myself, I would like to express my deepest condolences to the government and people of Japan and the family of the deceased. The death of His Excellency Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan, on 8 July 2022 is a great loss and indescribable pain. His Excellency Shinzo Abe's death is not only the loss of a Japanese patriotic hero who led the growth and enhancement of Japan's role on the international and regional stage, but also the loss of a truly good friend of the Cambodian people and myself, who contributed to the development of Cambodia-Japan bilateral relations until the strategic partnership was achieved in 2013, as well as the promotion of development assistance in Cambodia. The kind and sincere gestures of His Excellency Shinzo Abe will always be etched in the hearts of the Cambodian people as well as me forever. In this sad situation, I pray that His Excellency Shinzo Abe's soul will be safe and sound. I would like to say goodbye to Your Excellency for the last time," he concluded. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was a good friend of Prime Minister Hun Sen's in politics, foreign affairs, and personal affairs. In 2017, Shinzo Abe gave a surprise birthday celebration to Prime Minister Hun Sen. Remembering this friendship, the Cambodian Prime Minister decided to declare a national day of mourning on Sunday, 10th July, where all flags were flown at half-mast nationwide. All karaoke bars and clubs across the country were also closed for the day, while restaurants and beer gardens were banned from selling alcohol. The Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology has issued an additional notification regarding the changing weather situation in Cambodia, saying that between 11th and 14th July, the coastal areas in Cambodia will have continuous rain, which may result in some areas of Sinakville and Kokong to experience flooding. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
In a statement issued on Monday, the Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology said that the situation was caused by the effects of prolonged ITZ low pressure from Thailand, linked in an active low pressure, so the South China Sea and the southwest monsoon over the coast and southern parts of Cambodia. While floods warnings in Kokong and Sihek Noville provinces, the Minister of Water Resources also confirmed there will be heavy rain, strong winds and high waves in the sea surface. The ministry has said please keep the public informed and take extra precaution to avoid any possible accidents. In late June, Priya Sihanouk Province Governor Koik Chomron instructed the Provincial Department of Water Resources and Meteorology to restore the canal system into Sihek Noville to avoid flooding. According to the Department of Water Resources, more than 10,000 cubic meters of soil has been removed and the canal system in the province. Sihek Noville was hit by severe flooding in 2021, which inundated the province and killed 1 person. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Sri Lanka's President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has informed Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe that he will resign. The Prime Minister's office said on Monday, after tens of thousands of protesters stormed the official residences of both men.
After Saturday's sweeping protests in the wake of the liberating economic crisis, the Speaker of Parliament said Rajapaksa would resign on Wednesday. However, there has been no direct word from Rajapaksa on his plans. Wickremesinghe has said that he would also step down and allow all-party interim government to take over. Leaders of the protest movement have said crowds would keep occupying the residence of the President and the Prime Minister in Colombo until they finally quit office. Colombo, Sri Lanka's largest city, was calm on Monday as hundreds of people strolled into the President's Secretariat and residence and toured the colonial-era buildings. Police made no attempt to stop anyone. "I'm so exhausted I can barely speak," said the 28-year-old as he sat on the plastic chair outside the President's office. "I come alone all this way because I believe we need to see this through. This government needs to go home and we need better leaders." Ordinary Sri Lankans have mainly blamed Rajapaksa for the collapse of the tourism-dependent economy, which is hardened badly by the COVID-19 pandemic and the ban of chemical fertilisers that was later reversed. Government finances were crippled by mounting debt and the lavish tax breaks given by the Rajapaksa regime. Foreign exchange reserves were quickly depleted as oil prices rose. The country barely has any dollars left to import fuel, which has been severely rationed, and the long lines have formed in front of shops selling cooking gas. Headline inflation to the country of the 22 million hit 54.6% last month, and the central bank was warned it could rise up to 70% in the coming months.
A motorcade carrying the body of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe arrived at his home in the Japanese capital on Saturday, 9th July, as police in the western city of Nara, where he was assassinated, said there had been security flaws.
Tributes poured in from the world as leaders from various countries, including Cambodia, America, Australia, China and South Korea, all expressed shock of sadness as the assassination of Japan's former Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe. UN Secretary Council held a minute of silence and Biden signed a condolence book. In Australia, the Sydney Opera House was illuminated in red and white colours of the Japanese flag in his honour. Japan's longest-serving leader, Abe, died after being shot while campaigning for a parliamentary election. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that the country had lost a great politician. The Japanese government expects security loopholes in the killing of the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to be discussed and investigated, and the country's top spokesman said on Monday. Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsusano told a regular briefing that the government has received a report suggesting there was security and guard system fault.
Conflict broke out at the building of People's Bank of China in the Chinese city of Zhengzhou, where hundreds of protesters gathered over the freezing of deposits by some rural-based banks on Sunday, 10th July. Something you don't see in China very often is protesting. In video, you can see protesters were dragged and subdued on the ground as heavy-handed security personnel attempted to disperse the crowd. Protesters threw water bottles at security personnel, the video showed. Both groups hit each other and pushed each other away. A large group of security personnel in plain clothes and uniforms were at the scene. The large group gathered on the steps of the bank, held banners reading Henan Bank, "Return our legal deposits, our people's life-preserving savings money," and chanted. The banks froze millions of dollars worth of deposits in April, telling customers they were upgrading their internal systems. The banks have not issued any communication on the matter since, depositors said. About 1,000 people gathered outside the Zhengzhou branch of China's central bank on Sunday to demand action. Videos showed depositors waving banners and throwing plastic bottles at approaching security guards, who then roughly dragged some of the protesters away. "I feel so aggrieved. I can't even explain it to you," one protester, surnamed Zhang, 40 years old, told Reuters. Zhang said he had been hoping to retrieve about 170,000 yuan, or $25,000, deposited with one of the banks, the Zhejiang Huanghuai Community Bank. Zhang said he had suffered injuries to his foot and thumb and was taken away by 4 unidentified security personnel at around midday. Security personnel outnumbered protesters by around 3-1, he said. "They did not say they would beat us if we refused to leave. They just used the loudspeaker to say that we were breaking the law by petitioning. That's ridiculous. It's the banks that are breaking the law." The banks, which include the Yuzhou Xinminsheng Village Bank and the Shanghai Huimin Country Bank, are under investigation by the authorities for illegal fundraising, the state-run Global Times reported. Let's have a look at today's finance. The CSX index is currently at 485.33 points, down 1.81 points or 0.37%. The National Bank of Cambodia's daily exchange rate is 4,081 Khmer Rial to the USD. Now a look at what else is happening in finance around the world.
With the roller coaster of oil prices and prices of gasoline rising in Cambodia will receive a bit of relief today as gasoline prices will drop 400 Rial. Currently, gasoline is at 6,200 Rial. It will drop to 5,800 Rials. With the roller coaster of oil prices and prices of gasoline rising in Cambodia will receive a bit of relief today as gasoline prices will drop 400 Rial. Currently, gasoline is at 6,200 Rial. It will drop to 5,800 Rial. A bit of relief for motorists. Shares sliders US. Inflation data earnings hurdles. The stocks index European shares fell 1.3% with the SP 500 futures 0.8% and the Nasdaq futures at 0.9% as an upbeat US. June payrolls report raised expectations of 75 basis points hike from the Federal Reserve. MSCI's broadcast index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan slipped 1.8%, while Chinese blue chips lost 1.9% after Shanghai discovered COVID-19 case involving a new subvariant Omicron BA 5.2.1. Brent was trading down as $1.27 lower at $105.76, while the US crude slipped $1.43 to $103.36 per barrel. This is the latest news from Finance, so tune in tomorrow for more.
And finally, Blood of Kindness started its campaign with the Japan Heart Hospital at Paragon International School, where Cyclo riders placed campaign stickers on their Cyclos to promote giving blood to help children with cancer. Then at Ian Mall, they held a blood donation drive with great success. EAC News attended these events to help raise awareness about the importance of giving blood.
On Wednesday, the 27th of July, Blood of Kindness held a Give the Blood drive at Aeon Mall, where you could donate blood for the Japan Heart Ecology Department. EAC interviewed a couple of blood donors and asked how they felt about giving blood, if the process is easy and pain-free, and why they gave blood. They all mentioned the same thing, that they were happy to give and they felt normal after giving blood and would give blood again. Tola was happy that the blood was going to children with cancer.
I feel good. It's actually okay. I've done a little bit of research before what to do and what to do after and before the donation. So I feel very normal, actually very surprised. I heard it's for the children who have cancer, so I'm very happy that I can give to the children.
After speaking to Torsten from Germany, he was happy with the process and would be happy to give blood again because it was easy and pain-free.
It's a good thing. I think everyone should give. Totally easy, very straightforward, all good. And I want to give more often. Yeah, I think it's for a good reason. No dizziness, no pain, no nothing. It was very simple, very smooth.
The organisers were very happy with the number of people that gave blood throughout the day and will have more blood drives throughout upcoming months.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.